In this section, we will talk about the division of autonomic nervous system and few basic concepts that we need to revise. So, let's revise our basic concepts regarding to nervous system. Basic functional unit of kidney is nephron. So, similarly, the basic unit of communication in our nervous system is neuron. Let's revise its structure. Each nerve cell or neuron consists of the cell body, a major branching fiber called as axon, and numerous smaller branching fibers called as dendrites, and axon terminal. Suppose that it is a ganglion. A ganglion is a collection of neuronal bodies found in the voluntary and autonomic branches of the peripheral nervous system. Ganglia can be thought of as synaptic relay stations between neurons. This nerve is before the ganglion, so it is called as preganglionic nerve, while this nerve is after the ganglion, so it is called as postganglionic nerve. These were the basic concepts. Now let's jump into the sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system. This is ganglion. This is preganglionic nerve. And this is postganglionic nerve. In case of sympathetic nervous system, preganglionic nerves are short, but postganglionic nerves are long. But it is opposite in case of parasympathetic nervous system. Preganglionic nerves are long, but postganglionic nerves are short. Message travels from one neuron to other. So, in sympathetic system, preganglionic sympathetic neurons arising from the spinal cord terminate either in the paravertebral ganglionic chain, in the cervical or abdominal ganglia, or in so-called terminal ganglia. Transmission of stimuli from preganglionic neuron is cholinergic, that is, mediated by release of the neurotransmitter acetylcholine. But transmission of stimuli from postganglionic neuron is adrenergic, means stimulation of all effector organs except sweat glands by the postganglionic sympathetic fibers is adrenergic, means mediated by the release of norepinephrine. But in case of parasympathetic system, transmission of stimuli from preganglionic to postganglionic neurons is cholinergic, that is mediated by release of the neurotransmitter acetylcholine, while transmission of stimuli from postganglion to effector organ is also cholinergic or mediated by acetylcholine. Cholinergic means mediation by release of neurotransmitter acetylcholine. Adrenergic means mediation by release of neurotransmitter such as epinephrine and norepinephrine. Do you know? There are some exceptional cases, for example. In sympathetic nervous system, sweat glands, as exceptional case, means transmission of stimuli from preganglionic neuron is cholinergic. It means it is mediated by release of neurotransmitter acetylcholine. Transmission of stimuli from postganglionic neuron is also cholinergic. It means it is mediated by release of neurotransmitter acetylcholine. Now let's discuss the division along with receptors, as well as their antagonists. Our parasympathetic system has receptors called as cholinergics, which includes nicotinic receptors. All postganglionic cells and dendrites and adrenal medulla has nicotinic receptor. Parasympathetic system also has muscarinic receptors. So all target organs innervated by postganglionic parasympathetic nerve fibers, and sweat glands innervated by sympathetic finer has muscarinic receptors. So there are two types of cholinergic receptors. First is muscarinic receptor, which has high affinity for muscarine, and second is nicotinic receptors. which has high affinity for nicotine. Nicotinic receptors are NN and NM. There are 5 types of muscarinic receptors: M1, M2, M3, M4, and N5. But in autonomic nervous system, we will only talk about M1, M2, and M3. These receptors will be explained later in this video. Antagonist is a substance which interferes with or inhibits the physiological action of another. Atropine blocks M cholinerceptors, whereas pyrazine blocks N1. Methoxytramine blocks M2. Hexahydrodiphenidone blocks M3. And tropicamide blocks M4 cholinerceptors. 2 nicotinic receptors also have antagonist. Well, yes, they do have. Let's name them. Tubocurarine blocks NN cholinerceptors, and trimethophan blocks NN cholinerceptors. Sympathetic system has receptors called as adrenergic receptors or adrenoceptors. 4 main types of adrenoceptors are alpha-1, alpha-2, beta-1, and beta-2, which can be distinguished according to their affinity to epinephrine and norepinephrine, and to numerous agonists and antagonists. All adrenoceptors respond to epinephrine and norepinephrine, but norepinephrine has little effect on beta-2 adrenoceptors. The activities of all adrenoceptors are mediated by G proteins. Adrenoceptor include alpha receptor, which are usually excitatory, except in gastrointestinal tract, where they are indirectly relaxant. Other adrenoceptors are beta adrenoceptors, which are usually inhibitory, which include beta-1, which is in heart, and beta-1 is excitatory in heart, and beta-2, which are in bronchi, urinary bladder, uterus, gastrointestinal tract. Adrenergic receptors and cholinergic receptors will be explained with mechanism later in this video. This was all about the division of autonomic nervous system. In our next session, we will discuss about the location and transmitter substances of sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system.